You have been told your whole life that the secret to financial success is simple. Spend less than you earn. Cut your expenses. Save more. Be disciplined. And if you just do those things, everything will work out. But here is what nobody told you. That advice, while not wrong, is completely incomplete. And following only that advice is exactly why millions of hardworking Americans end up financially stuck no matter how careful they are with their money. In the world of personal finance, there are two completely different ways to think about money. The first is called the defense mindset. Defense is all about protection. It is about reducing risk, cutting waste, and holding on to what you have. Defense players ask one question: how do I stop losing money? They budget obsessively. They avoid debt. They clip coupons. They negotiate bills. And all of that is smart. But defense alone is like a football team that only trains their defensive players and wonders why they never score a touchdown. Here is the math that proves why defense alone fails. The average American household earns around $75,000 per year. If they are extremely disciplined and save 15%, that is $11,250 per year saved. Over 30 years with no investment. Growthy, that is $337,500. That sounds decent. But now factor in inflation. At just 3% annual inflation, that $337,500 will have the purchasing power of roughly $139,000 in today's money. After 30 years of perfect financial discipline, you have effectively less than 2 years of income saved. Defense alone cannot win the retirement game. The math simply does not work. The offense mindset operates on a completely different philosophy. Instead of asking how do I spend less, it asks how do I earn more. Instead of trying to protect a fixed amount of money, it focuses on growing that amount. Offense players are not reckless. They are aggressive in a calculated way. They ask, what skill can I develop that increases my income? What asset can I buy that generates returns? What business can I start that creates value? The offense mindset sees money not as something to protect, but as something to deploy. The psychological difference between these two mindsets is profound. Research in behavioral economics shows that defense thinking activates the loss aversion center of your brain, out the same region that treats financial losses as physical threats. This makes defense thinkers cautious, anxious, and reactive. Offense thinking, by contrast, activates the reward anticipation system. It creates excitement, motivation, and forward momentum. Wealthy people are not less afraid of losing money. They have simply learned to use their brains in a way that focuses on. Now here is the critical insight that most financial advice misses completely. The wealthiest Americans do not choose between defense and offense. They have mastered both in a specific order. First, they build a solid defensive foundation. They eliminate consumer debt. They build a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. And they control their core expenses. This defensive foundation gives them the stability and the psychological safety to then go on offense without fear. You cannot play effective offense when you are financially desperate. Defense first, then offense. Let me give you a real-world example of what this looks like in practice. Two Americans both earn $65,000 per year. The first, let us call her Sarah, follows the defense-only playbook. She budgets strictly, saves 10% in a basic savings account, avoids all investment risk, and lives carefully. After 20 years, she has $130,000 saved with very little growth. The second, let us call him Marcus, builds his defense first, then launches offense. He eliminates his debt in 2 years, builds an emergency fund, then invests aggressively in index funds and develops a freelance skill. After 20 years, Marcus has over $400,000 in investments plus an additional income stream. Same salary, different mindset. $1 to $170,000 gap. So what does going on offense actually look like for a regular American? 3 specific moves. Move 1A, invest before you spend. Every single paycheck. Move at least 15 to 20% to investments before you pay any other bill. Not after, before. This automates offense and removes willpower from the equation entirely. Move to a build one income skill. Choose one skill that has market value outside your current job. Writing, coding, design, consulting, teaching, and spend 5 hours per week developing it. Within 12 months, that skill can generate extra income. Move 3. Acquire one income-producing asset each year. It does not have to be large. An index fund, a small piece of real estate, an online course. One asset per year compounded over a decade creates financial transformation. The most important shift is not tactical, it is psychological. You need to change how you measure financial success. Defense thinkers measure success by how much they saved this month. Offense thinkers measure success by how much their money earned this month without them working. Defense says, I did not overspend. Offense says, my investments generated $100 this month while I slept. This is the single mental shift that separates people who spend their lives working for money from people who eventually have money working for them. Defense protects your present. Offense builds your future. Defense keeps you safe. Offense builds your wealth. The Americans who retire financially free are not the ones who spent their lives cutting coupons. They are the ones who mastered both. Build your defense, then launch your offense. And if this video changed how you think about money, subscribe to the Money Mind. Next video, we reveal the psychology of compound interest and why Einstein called it the eighth wonder of the world.